Duckworth, and my chosen specialism is screenwriting. And for the research project, I decided to look into character development and how to basically create more relatable characters and more entertaining characters for the audience. I started by looking at 3 different methods, which I will go through now. The first one was by an American lecturer called Brandon Sanderson. He's not a screenwriter by profession, but he did create this character development method for literature. He is a successful fantasy author of over 180 books, and a very popular series called the Firelight series. And he teaches introduction to fantasy and sci-fi literature in America. He created a very simplistic system of traits. So you've come up with your character, where they came from, what their job is, and then you'd brainstorm traits for them. You'd go through positive traits, negative traits, motivations, and secrets. And when I worked with this method, at first it seemed very simplistic, very easy to generate characters from it. But it had very little sort of barriers to what you could create. For example, when I first brainstormed it, I ended up creating a 17-year-old girl who was a genius, who wanted to use genetic modification to create mythical creatures in the modern world. There's no limits to where you can go with it. There's no barriers. So your characters aren't bound by anything, and that actually made it very difficult to write them, I found, when it came to writing the scripts. So I wouldn't actually use this method again to create characters or try to develop them further, because while it seems simplistic and easy to make characters with it, the characters actually turn out very bland because there's not a lot to them. In comparison to the next method I used, which was a method created by Rib Davis, which I learned about through reading the book How to Develop Characters for Script. He creates a very detailed system that goes across their entire lives, starting from things that they inherit at birth, name, class, like ethnicity, and going through to family traits that they pick up from their family around them, including friends, enemies, going on to, after that, learned traits, ones that they learn from their environment, like going to school, learning from other kids, things that happen to them that enrich their view of the world. And I found that this method is extremely detailed, and it's very easy to create a character with it, because you can look at it and go, right, this character is that, so that transition, this character is, let's say, Christian. They were christened at birth, and this can lead to them growing up religious. It can lead to them rejecting religion if they feel like they're being forced into it, and then that can snowball and affect other choices in their life, like say what they do romantically, what they do, like do they drink, do they smoke, do they like follow it religiously, are they casual believers? It can help you then find the rest of these traits, and it kind of branches off like a trait. I found it really easy to write really detailed characters, but it also at points felt like you made them too good. Like you were giving them too many positive traits. Because it's very easy to look at a character and give them, oh, they're very kind and they're very humble and they're a hero, but you've also got to give an equal amount of negative traits to the positive traits so that your character isn't flat. So when I was using this method to actually write the screenplay, I found that the character was too good. The character that I created, a young Hispanic boy who worked to support his family. And he was too good. So I had to add in traits like he was self-neglective. He would put his family before himself for everything. Food, whether it came to being warm or having a safe place to sleep, his family would come first. He was very stubborn, and he had very low self-worth, which coincides with the self-neglected trait. And that gave a lot more, it broadened his character a lot, and it allowed for some very interesting things during the script. Such as, there's a scene towards the very end of it where his little brother has run off and he's gone to go find him, and he finds these older kids going after his brother, like they're going to beat him up. And he pretty much like puts himself in front of it and takes the beating for his brother. Like he didn't care what happened to him as long as his brother was safe. But in reaction to that, that caused his family to be upset with the fact that he was hurt because of them. It's a very interesting system to look at, and while I wouldn't use it again for creating a base character, but I think it's a very good thing to keep, because once I start writing longer scripts, it'll be a lot more useful then. Whereas right now I'm writing shorts, and it's very difficult to fit all that detail into a short script that's meant to be 5 to 10 pages. The script that I wrote was 15 pages, and I still didn't feel like I had enough information in there. Okay, so the last method that I used was looking at the powers of, which was a method developed by Laurie Holzer, who is a screenwriter and creative consultant who teaches all over the world. The powers are the power of conscience, the power of imagination, the power of idealism, the power of excitement, power of love, power of will, power of ambition, and power of reason. Each of these defines a personality type, which can be used to profile people as well. And in this one, we'll be looking at the power of reason character, D.I. Joe Chandler from Whitechapel. This is an episode segment taken from season 3, episode 6, where we see significant change in D.I. Joe Chandler's. A moment of revelation, if you will.
Love it. Are you happy with the situation?
No, I'm not.
Would you like to talk about it?
It's very kind of you to offer, but I don't expect you to fix it.
I'll talk. No problem. As soon as he apologises,
Why
he's
should I
yapped
apologise?
and
I was to save the man's
You
life.
didn't listen. You went off half-cocked. You put yourself and others at risk, and you could have got yourself
Why
killed.
do you have to worry about me so much when you're not my mother? You're always telling me
You do realise, don't you? If you'd got shot, the only person crying at your funeral is me.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
It's natural when we feel threatened to want to assert our authority and impose rules.
Alfred himself, he doesn't even try.
I was talking about you. How many times have you changed your shirt today?
3 times. It would have been more, but run out.
Give me your hand. Trust me. It's a thought stopper. When you feel the need to control things, you snap it hard. And you won't need to change your shirt or lay down the rules or whatever it is you do at the moment.
What is it?
So, every power has their own set of complications, worldviews, fears, and questions and dark sides that need to be asked about the character while you're writing it. With Dion Joe Chandler, he is a detective investigator who has OCD and finds it very difficult to work with the rest of the officers on the force. In this scene, we see significant character development where he sees that other people care about him, that there are people who would be upset if anything happened to him, because he doesn't really think that a lot of the time. He's very cold and distant for the majority of the TV series, and this can lead to him being pushed away by a lot of the other officers. But when Miles opens up to him, we see that he can change that. And when she gives him the rubber band, the thought stopper, it allows him to then find a way to manage his OCD a bit better. Because we see throughout the entire thing that he never wears the same shirt. He opens a brand new one from a sealed wrap packet every single time, changes it several times a day, opens a bar of soap, uses it once, throws it away. And this is a continuous cycle which only spirals as the show continues. There is a resolution later on with Miles and Joe, but that's only one. And Joe does spiral again and head into his dark side, and Miles pulls him back out.
Which of those methods was your favourite? Which one would you think you'll use in the future?
I think I am going to be using the powers of. I'm very fascinated by the way that they work, and in my research project I did several case studies on characters from different sorts of detective dramas, including Miles and Joe. I also looked at shows like The Killing, both the Scandinavian American versions, Rookie Blue, Happy Valley, and River.